Hi friends, Miss Drywa. Alright, so today for math, we are still working on long division. Alright, like I said, we're going to take this nice and slow, do a little bit each day. This way we could practice, right? It's all we can do. So, again, I know those are a lot of steps, and I'm sure you guys are doing absolutely amazing because you guys are super duper smart. So, let's get started. So we have a long division. So we have our steps, right? In order to complete a long division, everybody has to follow these steps. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat. Those are the long division steps. Well, thankfully, we have our long division family to help us to remember these steps. They tell us what we need to do in which order, right? So Dad, he tells us to divide. Mom, she tells us to multiply. Sister, she tells us to subtract. Brother, he tells us to bring the number down. And Rover, the dog, tells us to repeat. It reminds us that, okay, we got the brother, now we have to start over and go back to Dad. And sometimes in long division problems, you have to do that a few times. You have to follow the steps a few times until you are completely finished. That's why sometimes it takes so long. All right, so let's do a problem together. So I have now 380 divided by 5. Right? So we have to see 5 wants to get into this house, but we have to see now how many times can 5 get into or go into 380, right? So before I even get started, I'm going to write my division steps to help myself remember. You might have them printed out or you have them on your computer, and that's fine. If you want to write them on your paper, you can. They're there to help us, right? That's why we have these fancy things. So Daddy or Dad for divide, Mom for multiply, sister subtract, brother bring down, Rover repeat. Right, so this will help me now as I'm doing my steps, because sometimes these are a lot of steps, friends, and it gets a little crazy. So sometimes I might get confused. That's okay, it happens, right? So this just kind of helps me so I don't go too fast or I get confused and I repeat a step. It's there to help me. Now the next thing I'm going to do, friends, is I'm going to write my multiples of 5, because that's the number we're dividing by here. So it's just easier for me if I have them written down. Okay, again, some of my friends, you might have your multiplication facts memorized, which is absolutely amazing and going to make it so much easier for you. But I'm going to write them down for myself and for any friends who maybe don't have their multiplication facts memorized. So remember, when I write my multiples or I skip count by a number, I start with that number. So 5, All right, let's try that again. So let me put my thing down. Sorry, friends. D, M, S, B, R. Okay, and now we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and that's where I'm going to stop. So now I wrote down my multiples. Again, it's just going to help me when I do my division. All right, makes it a little easier. So let's start. Now, to actually divide, I have to go into the house. We have to see how many times 5 can go into the house. And I can't figure out on my own 380. So what I do is I break it into our place value, right? That's why place value is so important. Now he opens the door and the first digit he sees is a 3. Well, I look, 3 is too tiny. 5 can't go into 3 because it's way too small. Our first number is 5 and that's much bigger than 3. So I have to go to the next one. And now when I put 3 and 8 together, I get 38. Well, that's a bigger number than 5, so now I can figure it out. So my first step is divide. So we have to now figure out how many times does 5 go into 38 without going over it. Okay, so let's look. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 is bigger than 38, so I can't use that. So I have to go back up one, and I have 35. Okay, so 35 is a good number. It doesn't go over 38. It's less than 38. But it's the closest number to 38. So now I got to figure out how many times is that though? How many times did we count down? So now I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 5 went into 38. That's how many times without going over. So I divided. First part done. Division. Now Mom tells me to multiply, M. So now I have to do 7 times 5. Well, friends, multiple ways we can do this, just like when we did multiplication. If you have it memorized, great. You could use, touch points to help you skip count. You could skip count on your fingers. You could make equal groups, even though that might take up a lot of space and a lot of time. You could do it. Or we could use our multiples that we have here. Right? We have them already listed. So now, if I have my multiples of 5 and I'm multiplying by 7, I just have to count 7 numbers. And oh dear. Let me write. So we had a 7 here. Sorry, friends. 5. Okay, there we go. So now we just have to count 7 times on our multiples of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I get 35. So 7 times 5 equals 35. I write it right here. So I divided, I multiplied. Now sister tells me to subtract. So what am I going to subtract? Well, I'm going to subtract 38 minus 35. And I start in my tens place, and I can count down if I want on my touch point. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 3 minus 3 is 0. You can put a 0 or you can leave it blank. Either or, okay? So, am I finished? Well, no, because we didn't even ask Brother what to do yet. Brother tells us to bring down. So I brought down my 0, and now Rover the dog says repeat. So I have to go all the way back to Dad. So now I'm dividing again. 5. He still wants to get into this house, but now he has to see how many times he can get into 30. Okay, without going over. So the same thing, friends. We count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, I found it. Right here, 30. But how many times did I have to count to get there? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I put my 6 up here, and that's my division. It's 5 goes into 30 6 times. Okay? Now, Mom tells us to multiply. I'm going to multiply 6 times 5. Remember, you might have this memorized. You can skip count on your fingers. You can skip count on your touch points. You can use your multiples here. So let's do skip counting on our touch points. So if I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I write my answer down here because this is where I am now, right? Under the other 30 because I was working with 30. Now sister tells us to subtract again. So 0 minus 0 is 0 and 3 minus 3 is 0. And that's it. I'm done. I don't have anything else to bring down, so Brother can't tell me to bring down, and I have 0 here. So 380 divided by 5 equals 76. 5 can go into 380 76 times. All right, friends? So, again, I know this is a lot, but we're doing it, and we're doing a great job. You're all super duper amazing. I'm all super duper proud of you. Keep up the great work. Remember, we have this long division family to help us. Dad divide, mom multiply, sister subtract, brother bring down, Rover repeat. Alright, it takes a lot, it's okay, but remember, like I said, we're going to try it this summer, we're going to do our best, but you will do it again in 5th grade, okay? You will go over it again with your 5th grade teachers, right? Alright, friends, have a great day, great job, bye.